ជំរាបសួរសូមស្វាគមន៍មកកាន់កម្មវិធី Mon Parcours CLE ដែលថ្ងៃនេះយើងមានវិទ្យគ្មិនកិត្តិយសគឺបងស្រី Chhun Chenda Sophea ដែលពួកយើងនឹងជជែកគ្នាក្រោមប្រធានបទ You are what you think Hello បង
ជំរាបសួរ
ចាសុខសប្បាយទេបង
សុខសប្បាយអរគុណ
មុននឹងចូលដល់ប្រធានបទរបស់យើងបងអូនចង់ឲ្យបងជួយណែនាំខ្លួនបន្តិចសិនចា
ជំរាបសួរអតិថិជនទាំងអស់គ្នាខ្ញុំឈ្មោះឈុនចិន្តាសោភាហើយមានកិត្តិយសដែលមកចូលរួមនៅ podcast ថ្ងៃនេះចង់ឲ្យបងណែនាំពីអនាគតក៏បច្ចុប្បន្នកាលហើយអតីតកាល
ចាបងអាចអ្វីក៏បានដែរឲ្យតែបងគិតថាបងចង់ចែករំលែកជាមួយពួកយើងចង់ណែនាំឲ្យពួកយើង
ចាចង់ជំរាបថាថ្ងៃនេះបងមកនិយាយពីការអប់រំសម្រាប់យើងទូទៅមិនមែនសម្រាប់បងអញ្ចឹងអ្វីដែលបងមានមិនសំខាន់ទេគឺសំខាន់នៅការចែករំលែកអញ្ចឹងចាំដឹងពីបងនៅសំណួរក្រោយទៀតចោះ
ចាបងចាអរគុណច្រើនមែនតើអញ្ចឹងខ្ញុំនឹងចាប់ផ្ដើមជាមួយនឹងភាសាអង់គ្លេសដើម្បីជួយសម្រួលកម្មវិធីយើងកាន់តែប្រសើរហើយអ្នកស្ដាប់គាត់អាចរៀនសូត្រភាសាអង់គ្លេសហើយនឹងទទួលបានចំណេះដឹងដែលល្អសម្រាប់អប់រំផ្លូវចិត្តដែរចា To start off when you hear you are what you think what's the first thing that comes to your mind personally
Why I choose this topic because what come to my mind is we think repeatedly all the time without knowing what we're thinking and what we think often become a habit and the habit become our personality so that's why you are what you think because the more you think of the more you become so what you practice you get good at
I see. I got it. Like this morning when I wake up, I told myself that I am beautiful. And then I start my day with a beautiful think because we are what we think. Thank you so much, Bong. So growing up, were you always aware of your inner thought? Or is this something you had to learn over time?
Okay, this is here where I want to share a bit about my background and my life, why I am taking this opportunity to share what I learned. I grew up in a family that always very spiritual. My grandmother meditate in Phnom Kulin mountain all the time.
I see.
So twice a year we would go and visit her and she dressed in white, shaving her head, staying in a mountain, just isolated herself from the world and just seeking spiritual path. I don't understand spirituality at that stage, but the awareness of thinking good, practicing good thought, practicing being a good virtue and having the good quality of life is depend on your mindset is already installed in me while I was young. Unfortunately, Pol Pot took over, so the upbringing of a very comfortable childhood become a nightmare. And from Pol Pot, I witnessed a lot of poverty, sadness, and killing, including my father was taken to kill at gunpoint in front of the whole family.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I also witnessed my grandmother hang herself. So that trauma have actually made me very bitter toward life. So I grew up very angry and thinking that it's very unjust, unfair. Life is a battlefield. But it didn't stop there. The trauma keep continue and I become an activist of human sort of freedom. Like I come back to Cambodia working with anti-human trafficking, working with street kids, because I wanted to make a life better for the people. In fact, I was fortunate enough to go and live in Australia. So I spent most of my life, childhood in Australia after Pol Pot. But coming back working with anti-human trafficking, I lost my daughter. I worked to save people, to close down the brothel, to make people aware that trafficking is a cause of suffering for a lot of young children. But when I lost my daughter, I couldn't find her and no help can find her
You cannot find her until now.
until now.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to
So
hear.
in the past, I would talk with tear in my eye, with pain in my heart, because the trauma was so immense. It took me 2 years to conquer that feeling. I was so depressed. That was a that was a straw that break the camel back. I have been practicing meditation and seeking peace throughout my life because of the memory of Pol Pot. I tried transcendental meditation. I tried vipassana. I tried breathing technique and all that, but it's didn't really come to a full healing. And when my daughter missing, I was working on that meditation too, but it was just like a band-aid over the wound, never
Yeah.
really healed until I learned how to practice open eye meditation. And that's when I come to realization that I I am aware of my thought. I know that I must the master of my thought, and this is what I am doing right now, is to help people learning to be aware of what they're thinking, because a lot of time people don't know what they're thinking. And when you don't know what is the problem, the doctor cannot fix your problem, right? You
Yes, you
don't
are
even know
right.
what you have the sickness is, so there's no medicine can heal you.
Yes. So I just heard this about you, and I'm really sorry to hear so. And I hope that you can find your daughter, or maybe not. I don't know, but I just wish for it. And I really saw that you never met this, such a thing. So you are so strong, and I really appreciate your strength. So it's yeah. So I will ask you to another question, because I just like feel sorry to hear so. So a lot of people struggle with overthinking, because just early you talk about be aware of our thought, inner self, and then how do you personally deal with intrusive for negative thoughts?
I think understanding your thought is the key to be aware of it. But if you never stop and be still, you don't know what you're thinking. Guess what? We think over 7,000 thoughts per day. And that's a lot of thinking. And this is for the average people who think normally. For those people who stress, who work very hard, they think a lot more than that. And our mind is like a trash can for that kind of thought, because some of the thoughts that we think are not positive. We are feeding ourselves with self-doubt, with fear, with worry, with anxiety. And this is why we are very stressed. So learning to be aware of your thought is the first step to slow it down. Just observe, watch how you think, what you think, and be aware of it. What kind of language you talk to yourself. So to do that, you need to be still. You need to take a pause from life. In general, we go, go, go all the time. We wake up from the time we get out of bed. We start thinking, and we go on with our life without thinking, just auto function. Our habit, we do the same thing more than 45% of the time without knowing it. We want to change, but unless we know what is the problem, how can we change? So the change is the start, but the change starts with slowing down, with learning to be still and observe your thought and understand what you're thinking at the time, and stop self-blaming, stop being worried and fearful over the problem without knowing that, because a lot of time it's just a habit.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. But sometimes people like they don't know when to start, because they have self-doubt, and then they think, is it a good time to start to do this? And sometimes they repeat something in their mind, like, did I do it well? What people think about me? So that's why I want to ask you how you manage yourself to be aware of yourself and to start just to change the habit that you usually to do.
You really have to want it to, because a lot of time people say they want to, but they don't really, they half-heart that they wanted to change. Until they drown, then they learning to swim. It's a bit too late. A lot of time people say that you have to wait until you're old to meditate. So I don't want to use the word meditate because the young people think that they are not old enough yet to learn to meditate. That's why I'm using the word aware of your thought. Slow down, observe, but don't absorb. Just watch what you're thinking. Just every moment, take your time to away from the computer or whatever you're doing, just to pause and observe inward. What were you thinking? For example, take a minute to think about your life. A minute go very fast. Just slow down.
Yeah,
Is there
I feel
anything
like,
you want to change?
yes, there's a thing that I want to change. Yeah, I want to change my day with a positive thinking.
Change money with the positive thinking. Because a lot of time when we wake up, we think of making money, right?
Yes, you're right. I need to be rest, go to work, do a great job, and get salary. So we need to slow down. Yeah, I will slow down my day.
Yeah. We are motivated by money. This is why we all have a problem, because we never have enough. When we don't have enough to eat, we just want enough to eat. But when we have enough to eat, we think we want more than that.
Yes, you're right. You're right.
And the want is never stop. And money is a tool. Money is a currency. Money is energy. When we have money, we're happy. Who's not happy when it's payday time? Because it's an energy, that's why we call it currency. But the main tool that we should focus on is the thought. Because without positive thought, without the thought, we cannot motivate ourselves to get out of bed. Thought is the currency and the frequency that is more important than money. But we forgot that. Every day we put rubbish in. And why I said rubbish? All the worry, the fear, the doubt, those are rubbish. We wash every day for what? So that we don't smell it and sting. But did we ever wash up here? No. So imagine how much rubbish we have been collecting. All those time of collecting the rubbish become a habit for us. It's normal to think negative thought. It's normal to have self-blame. It's normal to be afraid and fearful. That become our normal norm. We was not born that way. Children born without fear, without worry, but it's us that teach them to be fearful and scared of things. We frighten them and say, don't go into the darkness, there's ghosts. This is why a lot of people scared of ghosts, because we were told that there was ghosts
But we
out in
never
the
see
dark.
ghosts.
Who have seen ghosts? I mean, there are a few people who have seen ghosts, and ghosts does exist, but ghosts doesn't harm us. But it's our fear that harm us. What we feed ourselves, we become. If we feed ourselves with negativity, we become negative. Our thought is what important we need to focus on, because our body believes what we think. Close your eye for a minute. Imagine you are so thirsty, and I'm giving you half a lemon to eat. The sour taste fill your mouth, and your mouth is filled with water and saliva. It's so sour, but you're so thirsty. You have to bite into this lemon. Now you can open your eyes. Do you have a lemon? Why is your mouth watering? Is the lemon there? No. It's just a thought.
Yeah.
But you already have that feeling of sour in your mouth and the watering mouth. True or not?
That's true.
This is what I'm saying. Your body believes what you think. So you keep feeding the same message. It believes that. For example, you think that you are not good enough, you're not capable, you will tell yourself that. And you know why you're saying that? Because you grow up hearing those words. From whom? The people around you, the media, what you grow up with. You didn't born with that. Children didn't scared of fire or the darkness or whatever. If children scared of falling down, we won't be walking. We be crawling. But children, when they fall down, they get up and walk again. But why us human being adult, when we face with one negative problem, we stop trying? Because we are fearful of failing again. It's our mind that feeds us that.
Yeah. That's why I just heard from you like we need to shape our mind. We learn to observe but not absorb.
That's right. Yeah. Observe, allow us to learn, allow us to understand why we feel in that way. So when we feel anger, we observe where does that anger come from. A lot of time we say the anger come from outside. We blame
But
other
it's not,
people.
yeah.
We always blame other people. We blame time, we blame people, we blame other people. I tell you earlier, when you squeeze apple, what do you get?
Get apple for sure.
You sure you didn't get orange juice,
No.
pineapple juice?
No.
If a man squeeze it or a woman squeeze it, does different juice come out?
No, not at all.
Different time of the day, different juice?
No, not at all. It's always apple juice
Why?
because it's come from apple.
Because the essence of apple is apple.
You're right.
Yes. But why did we say that that person make me angry? Because they make me angry. What in you is what it come out. If you feel yourself with anger, there's no love coming out when they poke you. Only anger come out. If you feel yourself with love, doesn't matter how people say it, you still have compassion and love. Only love can flow out of you. But if you keep feeling yourself with anger, of course the essence inside is anger. So it's not who squeeze it at what time or what hour. You know, us women sometimes saying, oh, it's my period time, that's why I'm cranky, or because they wake me up too early in the morning. So the time the man would say that I'm the man of the house, you tainted my ego when you say that. It's not about that. It's about the essence inside. So everything come from inside us, not from out there. So unless we learn to look inside and understand what we thinking, how we thinking, how we feeling, that's when we can manage our thought. If we're not the master of it, it will be the master of us, because our thought is like a monkey. It jump all over the place and it run very fast like a horse. And if the monkey riding the horse, you are in a mess.
Yes, you're right. So this is really meaningful and I can learn a lot from what you said. And I guess that all the audience, they will love to hear a lot more from you as well. So, do you think our thought shape our reality or do our realities shape our thought more?
It is the thought, not the reality, what you think you become. Because when you have a tendency to be afraid, you already had that thought in your head. So it's not the snake, for example, that you're scared of, it's the fear of it. And it's in your head already. So you create that reality of how scared, how fearful the situation become. And in general, people are born without fear, but adults put the fear in the children's head, and so they grow up afraid of certain things. Sometimes you afraid of water because the adults say that don't go near the water, you can get drowned and all that. And so that thought is already in your head from a young age.
Yes, I agree with you because, like sometimes when my friend, they ask me to go outside to do camping and I always refuse them because I scare of a lot of things. Sometimes I told them, no, I'm busy, I cannot go. But in reality, because I scare of the animals, I scare of the darkness, I scare of climbing mountain and falling down. So I scare a lot of things. That's why I always ask them, if you want me to go with you, you need to help me in many things. So this is what I need to change, and change start with my mind.
It is true. Of course, when you have friends, they are always there to help you, but you need to help yourself first. The help that you need is learn to conquer all that fear, because the fear is just an illusion that you create in your head. People that go camping, not everyone fall down, and the animal are scared of you more than you're scared of it. I mean, the animal you think you're scared of is all those little insects, snakes and spider and all that, right? I mean, apparently they heard your footstep, they run away already.
Yes. Yes, this is my bad sauce, I guess. I need to change it.
I love camping. I go camping anytime that I have. So recently I just come back from Machu Picchu, a 5-day hiking to
Oh,
Machu Picchu. Sometime 24 kilometers a day.
and you walk.
Walk
Oh
up
my God.
up the mountain, snowy mountain, cold with high altitude to 4,007 kilometers high above sea level.
I'm just proud of you, You know, I imagine myself, I will say, I cannot do it. Even right now, I'm young, I'm energyful, full of energy, but I think maybe I cannot do it, but I should try.
If you think you can or you can't, you are right. So whatever you think, you are right. So for me earlier, I thought that I love camping, but walking so far and so high with altitude so high like that might be difficult for my old age. I'm not young anymore. But my daughter encouraged me and said, "You can do it, mom. Just train for it." So I did some training for about a month before I go. And I'm also proud of myself that I made it, because some of the young people couldn't make it because it's hard to breathe when you go up that high altitude. But I think it's my mind, it's my mindset that made me conquer that, because it was very challenging, very
Yes,
challenging.
I can say that you are brave, you are strong, and in this age, you still love to explore more and train to do what you want to do. This is amazing.
But this is why I'm sharing this, because I want the young people to not afraid. Whatever you're afraid, you need to face it. If you are afraid of snake, learn to watch the video with snake and get familiar with it. And I was afraid of snake too before, but then I hold a snake. I put it around my neck
Oh my
to
God.
conquer that fear. So the more you fear of, the more you need to face it. If you want to learn to swim and you never get in the water, how can you swim? You can
You're
learn
right.
all the theory you want, but you don't get your foot wet. How can you learn how to swim?
You're right. You're right. When you say like you touch the snake, I can't even look at it. I scare a lot of things. I can say that.
Yes.
Yeah. So
This is why the message I want to send also
yeah.
is for those young parents out there, please stop scaring your children. Stop telling them that they are limited, because the mind is unlimited. Everything you see around you, somebody thought of it. That's why it's happened. So the mind is unlimited if you allow it to imagine and create. So fear is stopping you from progressing.
Yeah. That's why when I read a book and there's a sentence really interesting that said, being human is limited, but being yourself is unlimited. So that's completely right. Yeah.
Well, the human limited is only because you are allowing people to control you. Because these days we live for material things, we live for money, we live to please other people, to impress other people, not for ourselves. In general, our limit is limitless, but we limit ourselves to material thing alone.
Yeah. So in today's world, just you mentioned it early, we're constantly influenced by social media and comparison. How can someone protect their mindset in that environment?
Well, if you wake up in the morning and start looking at the media, of course your whole day is going to be stressful because is there any good news? The news that's good doesn't sell. All the news are of fearful thing. At the moment, the news is all about the war. And that's put you in a position of fear, worry, stress. What is the future going to be like? You know, there is a study that they did. We think in the past, most of the time, up to 80%. And we think of the future, 15%. How many percent left if you know how to do the
5%.
math? For present. And what's most important for us? It's present. You need to live in the now. And the now we have. We can make the most of it. We can make a better tomorrow by living a good today. And while we're busy following the media, get hooked with the game or whatever in the media, we forget to actually live our life. I've seen a lot of people go to the restaurant with the family, supposed to enjoy the time together, but everyone having their phone on and looking at the phone and not even have a conversation. So the media is good. Sometimes we need to know what's going on. But we need to interact as human beings because conversation, relation is more impactful. The loving time with the family is more impactful. You can work all you want and create a lot of wealth for your children, but if you don't spend time loving them and showing them compassion, respect, love, they lost that. No matter what gadget you give them, it's not the same as the love from the parent because that's warm, that's compassionate, that's caring, that understanding. And the children that grow up only with the gadget, they don't understand human feeling. And this is why we lost a lot of value in human life.
Yes, that's why a lot of people nowadays they try to work, try to find a sense of humanity because we focus a lot on the outside world and then we forget to look at what we have, look at our inner self. Yeah. So, some people say just think positive. It's easy, right? Think positive. But that can feel unrealistic because everything we saw every day, it's really hard to believe that. And then, what does healthy thinking actually look like to you?
Thinking positive is a good step. It's better than thinking negative. There are four different kinds of thought. We can think positive, we can think negative, we can think neutral thought or wasteful thought, or we can think elevated thought. Thinking positive is something that I encourage people that learn to meditate the first time to do, because when you sit down, your mind is always wandering around. So by focus on positive thinking, it helps your mind staying still because you can only think of one thing at a time. Your mind cannot think of two things at a time. So when the negative thought come, you can push it away by positive thought. But negative thought is the dangerous one because it fills yourself with self-doubt, self-criticism, and hatred. And those are very bad. So that's why I said think positive is at least a good thought. But there's also a wasteful thought and a neutral thought. Why? We have a lot of thought in our head. So the neutral thought is a thought something like, I'm hungry. That's neutral. You need to eat because your body tells you that it's time to eat. I'm thirsty. I need to drink. But the wasteful thought is a thought why the traffic is jammed, why people are crazy, why it's so hot, why it's so cold, why it's raining. That is wasteful because you cannot stop the weather. You cannot stop the traffic. It is very wasteful. Your thoughts are energy, as I said earlier. So to conserve it, you need to think of something good instead of something bad. Because whatever you spend on, it's like a money, like currency. The more you spend, the more depleting you become. So you need to reserve it. So reserve it by thinking positive is the first step. But there are a better thought even than a positive thought. Elevated thought. Because positive thought is thinking like, okay, you might fall down and cut yourself. But you can think that, okay, at least I didn't break anything. That is positive, reverse back from the actual fall itself. But elevated thought is a thought of I am love, I am kind, I am patient, I understand, I'm merciful. Those are the thoughts that you should think continuously to elevate yourself. Because why? You are the image of what you see. So whatever you projected out, the public see that. If you see the world as negative because the negative is inside you, like I was sharing earlier about the apple juice, you are collecting a lot of negative thought in you. So therefore you see the world as ugly, as negative, as a war, as a battlefield. But if you are nurturing yourself with love, you will see the life is a school. Whatever obstacle that come, you see as a learning lesson. Because of course you will come across obstacles, situation that you need to challenge yourself. But if you don't challenge yourself, you never grow to be where you are now. The same with going to school. If you never go into school, you never learn how to read and write. And this is what life teaches us. So when you are fearful of going into the exam, you're never going to pass the exam. You're not even set foot in the exam in the first place. So learn to think elevated thought is helping you to create a positive mindset that seeing life as beautiful. Life is not bad if you learn to see it in a beautiful way. I can tell you in the past, I can drive past the same street many times and I didn't even notice the flower on those streets. But now that I learned to slow my mind and I learned to think of beautiful thought, I see a lot of beautiful things around me. There are so many beautiful things, but we learn to focus on only negative things. And that's the habit that we need to change.
Yeah. You have a very beautiful soul as well.
Thank
With
you.
this
Thank you.
beautiful birth, and I can see all the beautiful thing around you. This
Thank you.
is so beautiful. Yeah. So, how do you turn self-doubt into something constructive instead of something that holds you back?
Well, self-doubt is what we are learning from a young age. We didn't born with self-doubt. So what we need to do is unlearn what we mislearn so that we can learn new lesson in life. It's a mouthful, right?
I really want you to repeat that again.
You need to unlearn
Yes.
what you mislearn so that you can learn new thing in life.
I will
So,
remember this.
so you mislearn what? You mislearn that life is ugly, life is a battlefield, life is horrible. That's what you've been taught as a young age, since a young age, because you grow up that way. You grow up with poverty, you grow up with hardship, so life is horrible. But you need to unlearn that because you are the master of your own mind. You can conquer it by believing you can. If you think you can, you will stay there. But you need to change that mindset to believe that if other people can do it, you can do it too. And look back in your life. Just take a moment to look back in your life, how far you come. Before you learn to walk, you crawl, right? And then now you learn to run, to achieve so many language in life. As you told me, you speak so many language. You didn't born with those language. Maybe only Cambodian is your mother tongue, but you learn to speak English, speak French, speak Chinese. That's how you learned it. So there's no limit to learning if you open your mind to learning, because life is a school. So if you want to learn, there's always a room to learn, but you need to empty that rubbish first. Because if your cup filled with rubbish, there's no room to put any new thing in. That's why you need to unlearn what you mislearn.
Yeah. I got it, and I really understand what life should be. Yeah. So, if someone feels stuck in a negative mindset right now, what's one small but powerful step they can take today?
Gratitude. Gratitude is a very powerful feel to help people appreciate life, because sometimes they get stuck because of small things. For example, some people can get stuck because they don't have the salary they want. They don't have the hour they want to work. It's just small thing, but they forget that what they have is a lot more. I mean, sometimes people say, "Oh, you're not in my situation to know how suffering life is to me because I'm struggle all the time about life." But they forget to think that they still have eyes, they still have leg, they still have brain to think. You know, people will think that, "Oh, I don't even have a motorbike to go to work." Maybe they have a bicycle, but if they don't have a bicycle, maybe they have leg. Some people were born handicapped; they cannot even walk. Those are the things that people take for granted and not appreciated. Some people are angry with life because they don't have a job, but they can find a job so long as they have the mental power to conquer their fear. So appreciate what you have now: the job, the food on the table, the roof over your head, the fact that you have a life and you're not in the war right now. Okay? Some people are in the battlefield fighting for us. So all those little things we need to learn to appreciate.
Yeah. So right now, I'm so grateful. I'm grateful to have you in our podcast, and I guess that all the audience here, they are grateful to have you in our podcast as well.
Thank you.
Yeah. And finally, if listeners could walk away with just one mindset shift after this episode, what would you want it to be?
Love. Love yourself. Really love yourself truly. Because when you love yourself, you see everything's beautiful around you and you don't have hatred in your heart. When you love yourself, you can water other people around you with love. So love start with you. Don't expect other people to love you. You need to love yourself first. If you are empty of love, you have nothing to give other people. But if you have love, you will have compassion to understand the situation around you and have mercy for everyone around you, and the world will be a better place.
I feel so much love from you. Yeah, so I love myself, but can I love you more?
I
Yeah.
am open to love.
Yeah.
Always have never have enough love for everyone. So when you have love, you have a lot of compassion for humanity, for life, for nature, and you don't want it to destroy anything.
That's why we said love is pure. Yeah.
Yep.
But sometimes, people think possession is love too.
It's a fake belief. Without without position, you still can have love. You know, like a lot of time you can have position that people respect because you're a high position. But does they respect you out of love, or they respect you because of that high position? It's fake. Yeah. You can have self-respect more when you love yourself, because you don't need anybody to love you and to respect you according to your position.
You're right. You're right. Yes. So thank you so much. Today, you give us gratitude, mercy, love, positive mindset. And I know that all of us will live with a positive thinking from now on. Maybe before that, but most of people or some of people, they might live in the negative thought. But today, after hearing what you said, I guess something changed.
I hope so, because I have planted the seed of love already. So I hope you will water it. For it to be fruitful, you need to water it. And the practice start now. Take a moment to pause and reflect on your thoughts so that you can manage it. I know that you don't want to meditate yet at this young age, but think of meditation as self-love. Because to love yourself, you looking after yourself, you water yourself, you wash yourself. So why not wash your mind? Because when the mirror is dirty, if you don't clean it, you will see you won't see your face clearly. And trying to clean the mirror alone is not helping. You need to clean inside yourself so that you can shine and be the light for other people.
I do love the meditation, but I don't practice many often, but I guess I will start to do the meditation maybe few times a week, start from small thing. And I will try to hold my breath and take it deeply and then think positively with everything around me. Observe, but I will never absorb again.
Yes,
Thank you so
observe but
much.
not absorb.
Yeah.
Absorb. So pause is the best way to start meditation. Just learn to be silent and observe. And that's the first step. When you understand your mindset, then you can help yourself to feel better. And that's the first step. And if you do have the time to meditate, that will be great, because meditation allows you to understand yourself deeply. You know why you're here for, what you're here for, and understand the meaning of life.
Yeah, all right. Today we learn a lot from you, and I hope that everyone can learn many good things from you as well. So, do you have any message to share with our audience so they can learn from you a little bit more and they can practice every day with that?
The practice starts from wanting to be better. Don't wait until you drown to look for a life jacket. Learn to love and respect yourself and wanting to be better every day. Like you compete and compare in society to be better in position, in finance, in salary, but you have not improved yourself from the position you are in. This is why I asked earlier to reflect in your life, to see where you are. Is there anything you need to change? Ask yourself those questions. Take a minute to observe so that you can see what you need to change. And the change starts with you. You can't ask people to change, but you can change yourself, because only you can make the difference to yourself. You can't control other people.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why we need to live in the now, start to do the right thing at the right time and in the now as well.
Yes.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Mong, for joining our podcast. And I hope that we can talk to each other later in our podcast with the different topic, or even we can focus more deeply in this topic as well. Yeah.
Thank you for having me, and I appreciate this opportunity to share.
Yeah, thank you so much បងអូខេទាំងអស់គ្នាឥឡូវនេះកម្មវិធីរបស់យើងបានមកដល់ទីបញ្ចប់ហើយនាងខ្ញុំសុភានិងបងស្រី
Sophea ដែរ
ចា៎ពួកយើងសូមអរគុណនិងសូមជម្រាបលា
អរគុណទាំងអស់គ្នា